Everybody, and welcome back to the C. Allen Morning Show. This is Seven Brown, and today I want to tell you we have a really special guest. This is a very, very special woman. She was actually raised right here in this city. She was the founding fashion director of Vibe magazine, author, the winner of the Phenomenal Woman's Award. She is called the new face of Black history, founder of Black Girls Rock. We have today with us Miss Michaela Angela Davis. How are you, Miss Davis?
Good morning. I'm great. How are you?
Oh, my Lord, Miss Michaela Angela Davis. Welcome. Your first time here on the C. Allen Morning Show. I tell you, this is C. Allen. That was Seven that introduced you. And I tell you, we are so super excited to have you to be a part of our program. And now let me just say this. Let me start off with this now. When I read your bio, chills ran up and down my spine, baby. Lord have mercy. My first question is, how in the world are you able, I know you're going to say God's strength because it has to be, how in the world are you able to do all the things that you do in reference, and especially the image piece? I want to talk about Miss Image Activist, but tell me, how in the world do you have time to get all these things done, ma'am?
Well, I think you said the bigger picture is I do what's in my heart, and I don't feel like I'm doing the work. I just try to pay attention and show up. But, no one does that kind of work alone. I had a great mentor in Susan L. Taylor from Essence, and, and I mentor others. And I think that's the secret to getting things done is to be a mentor and to mentor, So, and also I feel like the busier I am, the more I get things done. So, I've been like that my whole life, and I think it's because I went to Ellington School of the Arts right there in Washington D.C.
Yes, indeed.
By D.C. And we were just taught how to get it in and dream and keep going.
I know that's right.
That was a very important lesson that they taught you. One of the things that I was thinking about is I read all this information and I said, wow, everyone has an opinion about who you are based on the things that you've done. And my question is, who is Michaela Angela Davis? If you describe yourself, what do you say?
Well, I'm a Black woman, and I'm a mother, and I'm the favorite child of God, and as we all are, we're all His favorite, right? And right now, I call myself an image activist, and what that is that I support, create, and promote the good works of people who are helping to bring balance to the images in the media around, particularly around people of color. So that's who I am today, and if I'm lucky, it might be something different 5 years from now, but that's who I am today.
That's one of the things I have to say I admire about you is that you're constantly evolving. I mean, there's a common thread, definitely, but I see that it evolves and it changes with the times. Like even the name Image Activist, I don't think I ever heard that before.
Yeah, I think I just realized what I was doing. I've been talking about the images, and particularly images of women in media for a while, and it started really when I was at Essence magazine, and I was spearheading the Take Back the Music campaign, and that brought me on college campuses and all on television. I had been doing some fashion commentary before on television, but this was now really talking about who we were in the media, and either we were in these hyper-sexualized sort of demeaning images or we were invisible. And both of those have a particular kind of pain. Invisibility is just as hurtful as being misrepresented.
Exactly. And then this is what I wanted to talk about, and I'm so glad that you brought that up. This is C. Allen again. I want to know, what is your opinion on, I was in the gym and I was, flipping the channels and I saw Love of Hip Hop or something like that.
Yeah.
And when I look at stuff like that, and I saw it now, before I actually tuned in, and Michaela, I didn't have my headset on, so I was just looking at all those beautiful women, beautiful hair, beautiful faces, beautiful bodies. And then when I put the headset on and listened to the profanity, and then someone had started to fight someone, and they kicking on the floor and all of that, you as an image activist, I mean, do you cringe when you see stuff like that? Talk to me.
Yeah, it's interesting because I've embarked on a project called Free the Girls, and it's a conversation series. So it's called Free the Girls, Liberating Conversations, Our Image, Beauty, and Power. And what I do is I try to speak truth to power, and so that it's interesting that you just brought that up because I actually I'm trying to be really good on Twitter now. I'm at Michaela Angela D, and I started talking about that because I realized on that show they had recently banned glass and metal for grown women, and I'm thinking, these are violent images. It's violent. It's emotionally violent. It's physically violent, and as you said, particularly for our young girls, it's disturbing because there's something aspirational about these women, right? And so I work with teens, and we're battling this bullying and trying to do co-kindness, and then they turn on the television, and almost every time when you see a group of black women together, they're fighting. They're tearing each other down. They're fighting over the ugliest, oldest rapper, like with no prize, no dignity. So what I do is we talk about it, and we try to have because how we learn is through repetition, right? So if we keep seeing these same images over and over and over again, this is how you expect to get attention. And these girls are looking for love but settling for attention, right?
That is
so when you see them on television, they get attention. And so what we try to do is put other ideas in their heads, have continuous other kinds of images and other ways of being, because it puts out this wrong message or a narrow message. Because I'm not saying some of us aren't like that, but it's just the negative and the narrow narratives of who we are becomes our PR campaign for the world. If that's all you see, I mean, I'm so grateful that shows like Read Between the Lines and The Game is Back, and some of the scripted shows that are showing up on BET, so you can see other women of color not tearing each other down. It's just we can't afford it. Like, it's not like the other Housewives franchise. They have so many other shows where they're doctors and lawyers and magical fairies, and you get to have all these balances. But when we don't have anything else, those shows mean so much to the psyche of our community.
And I think and I think that is what's really important, because that was leading into my second question. A good example, we had, I do have Bennett Career Institute. We have the largest beauty school on the East Coast. We have over 200 students, and the majority of them are African-American females. And we had a big event on last evening, and we had to hurry up and end the show because they wanted to get home to the Atlanta Housewives. And when you look at shows like this, do you think, Miss Michaela, that you have to work even harder? Because it's almost like, are they watching Read Between the Lines, or are they running home to get to the Atlanta Housewives? And you see these beautiful women, but then when they all get together, it's it's a lot of cattiness going on. And we understand, in which we can go a little to a deeper layer. Seven's the skincare expert. We can go to a deeper layer in reference to, are we really being exploited? Are we, do they have our women on television? And I often say people in certain parts of the country who may not become in contact with African-American women, the first thing that I notice is the first thing they want to do is snap their fingers and start rolling their necks. And the women are looking at me like, man, I know they just didn't do that.
Well, and because that's the only image that is or it's the dominant image. Oh, and I wanted to say something in the beginning. I am not the founder of Black Girls Rock.
You're not?
DJ Beverly Bond is the founder. I was on her board when it first started, and I'm a big supporter of Black Girls Rock. But I'm not the founder. I just want to make that clear. But I say that to say Black Girls Rock and the Atlanta Housewives aired on the same night.
That's right.
Sunday. And surprisingly, the numbers were about the same. We were nervous about that. And I was really, wanting to see, like, and I'm not saying don't watch The Housewives.
Right.
I'm just saying, what do you choose with your tune-in, like what it is that you want to. And
go ahead. Sorry.
So, when I saw that, what I think it is that everyone has real comfort level with black pain. And it's something we can see over and over again in different ways. And that's us, too. That means, black folks are really tuning into those shows. And the people at large, we're so used to seeing us be either the men are violent and the women are mean. And that is how we've been projected for so long, that there's a comfort level. And some of us have to just say, this is not comfortable. This is not normal. It's not normal for people to be violent with each other, emotionally, spiritually, and then what, you go to church tomorrow, and it's so ironic that it shows up on Sunday, right?
Exactly.
Well, I think it's important that you said that we're not bashing the housewives. I think the problem is the lack of balance.
It's balance. That's always it. It's not, people want to be entertained. They want escapism. That's what television is about.
Okay,
right?
Michaela, we're going to have to take a quick commercial break.
Sure.
The 1-800 number, if you have a question, 1-800-450-7876. We'll be right back with Michaela Angela Davis after these messages.